Now live from the Cake Studios, this is Cake News on your side at 10.
Tonight, new video of the moment a man opened fire outside an Old Town nightclub, killing one and injuring 5 others. Plus,
it's hard to fathom. Your body goes into shock and disbelief.
An exclusive interview with the uncle of the man who died, who says he was loved by everyone who knew him.
And the search for the man who pulled the trigger, and the search for answers as to why he started shooting. Cake News at 10 starts right now. And first tonight, that stunning video showing exactly what happened.
A neighboring business captured the moments when the shots were fired just after 12:30 this morning. Take a look. You see a group of people near the top right of the screen out on the sidewalk in front of Enigma nightclub on Mosley Street when a man with no shirt fires 5 shots into the club. He then moves and fires 4 more. Here's another look with full sound.
You see people in cars immediately scattering from the scene. Wichita police say the man firing those shots is Keyshawn Dawson. They say this all started when Dawson was kicked out of the club earlier in the night, then returned with a gun and fired into the building. 34-year-old Preston Spencer was killed. 5 women were hurt. Detectives say they were able to identify Dawson thanks to all the surveillance technology in Old Town, like this video, which has now been turned over to Wichita police. And we have heard over and over from those who knew Preston Spencer that he was as good of a person that anyone could ever want to know. And one of those people saying that is his uncle. Cake's Eli Higgins is live in Old Town tonight with the exclusive interview. Eli.
Yeah, David, like you said, while doing this story today, there was no shortage of people saying how amazing he was. Hundreds of people saying how he touched their lives. Now take a look. This is where it happened. Right now there are some candles lit and some flowers on the floor over there. And tonight, for the first time, his family is speaking out, saying it's an unimaginable loss.
Our last conversation with him last night was full of jokes and laughter, and that's just the way he was.
Keith Spencer says his nephew Preston Spencer's voice was one of the last things he heard Monday night before falling asleep. Just a few hours later, he got an unthinkable phone call.
It's hard to fathom. Your body goes into shock and disbelief, and you're just trying to process the words that are coming out of someone else's mouth. That's just unfathomable.
Preston was out with friends at Enigma Club and Lounge in downtown Wichita when he was shot and killed just moments before Keith says he was heading home.
That's part of the shock and disbelief, is just trying to wrap your mind around how someone that is so well liked and loved and who cared about everybody could die at the hands of random violence like this.
Keith says Preston never knew a stranger and had no enemies. He was a family man, adored his wife and 2 children, and worked selflessly to make everyone's life around him better. He worked at 12 Restaurant and Bar for the last 5 years. Keith says while there's no easy way forward, the top priority is Preston's wife and kids.
Most important thing for us is making sure that his family is taking care of his wife and his 2 young kids. I mean, my great nephew's asking for his daddy. And how do you explain to somebody that's 5 years old that dad's not coming home?
And Keith says if you want to help the family, the best way you can do that right now is by donating, if you want, to their GoFundMe. Now, for a link to that page and to donate, just go to cake.com and click on this story. Live downtown, Eli Higgins, Cake News on your side.
And tonight, police are still searching for the suspected gunman in the case, Keyshawn Dawson, a 23-year-old with a lengthy criminal history.
Wichita police say the man in this security video firing 9 rounds into the Enigma nightclub is 23-year-old Keyshawn Dawson. You see him open fire, then run from the scene. Dawson has a lengthy criminal history, convicted in juvenile court 3 different times, dating back to when he was just 16. Then just a few years later, when he turned 18, Dawson pleaded guilty to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Then the same conviction a year later. In each case, court documents show Dawson violated his probation, leading to more charges. In this warrant for Dawson's arrest, it shows he often goes by the name Lil Blood and is involved in gang activity. And finally, just a couple of weeks ago, a judge issued another warrant for Dawson's arrest for failure to appear in court for his sentencing. Now he's wanted for murder.
And we contacted Dawson's mother tonight. She says she has no idea where her son is, and she declined to comment on the shooting at the nightclub.
And stay with Cake News for continuing coverage of this morning's fatal shooting in Old Town. Watch for updates on air and online at our website, cake.com.